So we're rounding out the yamas and the niyamas. Today is Ishvara Pranidhana, which means to surrender. And basically this niyama, we have to kind of presuppose that we believe that there is a divine force in our life. So acknowledging that there is something bigger than us in order to be able to really fully understand and experience this niyama. Surrender does not mean give up. It actually means that there is full participation with each moment, that there is a fluidity with each moment. And it's letting go of our ego, letting go of that so we can have a more full and open heart in each moment. And when we can surrender the ego and have that open heart, we actually align ourselves with understanding that there's a higher purpose for our being, that there's something more, and being able to kind of let go of the control and let go of our rigidity gives us that space to expand and to explore. And as we move with each moment, that expansion is where we find the space, and that's where we find our purpose. And kind of understanding that here on the mat with our body, we let go of the rigidity and the tension. We want to get rid of what's stuck physically within us, and that helps to open up our bodies and to let go of pain and to let go of just stiffness in general. So I want to compare it to if each of our bodies were like a piece of ice, and that piece of ice were flowing in a river. We're essentially the same thing, where it's just frozen water versus not frozen water. But as the piece of ice, we are rigid and we're contracted and we're tight. But as we learn to kind of let ourselves melt and go with the flow and go with the flow of life, we can have that surrender. We can have that awareness and presence and that purpose. So I want us to think about how that applies to being on our mats, but how it applies to our everyday life. So go ahead and close your eyes and tune in with your breath. We tune in to the magnitude and the mystery that is bigger than we are. Our breath is our spirit. Our breath is the prana. It's the life force within us. It is our connection to something bigger. And acknowledging and participating with this niyama of Ishvara Pranidhana, to surrender. We find the rhythm of surrender. We find ourselves in harmony with the life force, with the divine. Let your mouth be closed and just breathing through the nose to find the rhythm. Challenging yourself today on the mat to joyfully engage with what this practice, with what our life has to offer us in each moment. Take a full breath in and reach your arms up and overhead, bringing your hands together into your heart. We remember that surrendering is not giving up. It's only letting go of our egos in a way that we can be fully present with the truth of who we were created to be by the divine. Take a full breath in. And exhale, bow your head. And release your hands and softly open your eyes. So we'll start with the breath of fire. So most of you know this breath. Practicing it by just sticking out your tongue and panting like a dog. So the emphasis starts out on the exhale, and you'll feel your belly pumping and pulling towards the spine. So it's like this. And as you start to breathe, you'll notice the inhale and exhale become a little bit more even and a little bit more rhythmic. And the exhale is the pull in of the belly. So we're going to adding the arms up and overhead at about a 60-degree angle. And you're curling your fingertips in towards the tops of your palms, and your thumbs are out and up. So make sure you're not hugging your ears to your shoulders up to your ears. Let the shoulders widen. And keep your arms up and as straight as you possibly can, unless you're experiencing pain. So if you do need to lower down to parallel to the floor all the way down at any time, please do, and then rejoin as you can. In Kundalini, this practice is called the ego eradicator. So here we are surrendering and letting go of the ego and being able to go with the flow of each moment and each breath. So arms out and up straight. Close your eyes and focus your attention at the third eye point, just above the eyes, between the eyebrows, and start to pant with the tongue out. And as you're ready, you're welcome to close the mouth and just do this breath with your mouth closed and in and out through your nose. Keep sitting up nice and tall through the top of your head, through the waist. Again, not letting the shoulders creep up into your ears. Stay strong and steady, rhythmic with the breath. We're trying to find the rhythm of surrender and harmony. There's so many ways that we physically and mentally try to fight with life, but get into the rhythm here with your breath. It might be getting mentally and more physically challenging, so stay as present as you can. Stay strong. Breathing with that rhythm. And with your next inhale, bringing your thumbs together overhead to touch. And with your exhale, releasing your hands slowly out, fingertips stretching out, fingertips touch the floor. Good. Inhale and reach your left arm up and over. Walk your right hand over to the right as far as you can. Really stretch and reach through the left waist. And then reaching your fingertips a little more forward, rounding your upper back, looking down at your right knee. And then extending that left arm across and down by your left side. Inhale and reaching the right arm up and over. And walk your left fingertips over to the left as far as you can, stretching through the right waist. Full breath in and exhale. And then starting to reach your right arm a little forward, rounding your upper back, looking at your left knee. And then reaching that right arm forward and around. Good. Reach your arms up, full breath in, hands together, and exhaling, hands to your heart. Good. Go ahead and come to hands and knees. So pad your knees as you need to with your blanket or your towel. And start to arch and round your spine. So moving with intention, moving with integrity. And this surrender is not about letting go of our muscles. Remember, it's a very active, engaged process to be joyfully present with whatever is coming our way. You can move with your eyes opened or closed. notice how the layers start to open up as you start to warm up, lengthening the top of your head and your tail. And coming back to a more neutral spine, bring your knees a little bit wider and start to move your hips in circles slowly. Still trying to find the rhythm of surrender, the rhythm of harmony with your breath. Go opposite direction with your hips as you're ready. And then allowing the hips to move towards your heels into child's pose. So not forcing anything, just allowing the hips back. And you can maybe turn your palms up to face the sky. Take a full breath in. Just open ourselves to the possibility of each breath. Letting go of our armor, letting go of any need to control, any of that rigidity, in order to feel lighter, to feel more comfortable for our journey. Full breath in, full breath out. And flipping your palms back over and coming back into hands and knees. And with your toes curled, lift your knees and make your way into downward facing dog. So just explore this space in your dog here. Walk it out. Make that connection with your hands and your feet, what's touching the earth, a little bit more meaningful and engaged. And then lifting your hips up as high as you can. Lift the heels of your feet as high as you can. Lift your armpits away from your hips. So you're lifting the underside of your arms up. Your ears are between your arms. Keep your armpits lifted, your butt lifted, and let the heels lower. Lifting your right leg up and back. Lift it up as straight as you can, stretching back through the right heel. Lift your left shoulder. So your shoulders are square. Full breath in. And exhale, lowering that right foot down. And lifting the left leg up as high as you can, thighs facing the floor. Stretch up and back through that left heel. Lift your right shoulder to make sure it's square with the left. Full breath in. Exhale, lowering that left foot down. Shift forward into plank. So your shoulders are right over your wrists. Take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, knees down for the first one and lower, thighs, hips, and belly all the way down. And propping up onto your forearms. So palms are down, elbows are shoulder distance apart. And get that first layer of awareness of pulling just the chest, the ribs, and the belly button up towards the spine. Joyfully engaged with each breath. And as you breathe, you notice the expansion and contraction. The contraction is that engagement of the muscles, the awareness of the muscles. We're trying to let go of the contraction in our mind, though. Lifting hips and thighs up, so you're keeping the contraction of the muscles. Maybe closing your eyes here to really feel the depth of your breath. Still finding that rhythm of surrender, that flow of surrender with the breath. Curl your toes, and if you'd like, lift your knees off the floor. Lowering your knees, thighs, hips, and belly, and coming all the way down. And stretch your arms back towards your feet so the fingertips are on the floor, palms are lifted, and bend your elbows just a little. So make space across the chest, the collarbones wide, and press the tops of the feet. And engaging that first layer of the chest, the ribs, and the belly button, pulling away from the floor as much as you can. Lifting the shoulders, keep your eyes down, maybe lift your legs, and maybe lift your hands. Breathe. Feel the expansion and contraction of the breath and the energy here. Notice what you're holding on to that you don't need. Any control. And lower down. Bringing your hands now for cobra. So using those same muscles, space across the collarbones, press your feet, and now pull back with the heel of your hand as you inhale and lift, and exhale, lower. Moving with engagement and awareness. Inhale, lift, And exhale, lower. Go ahead, curl your toes, come through hands and knees and plank as you'd like, and back to downward facing dog. Really stretch the waist long from the hips to the armpits without squeezing the shoulders into the ears. So make the neck long, the top of the head reaching for your fingertips. Full breath in and exhale. And walking your feet forward to your hands. And at the front of your mat, make sure your feet are parallel, about inner hip distance apart. Press your toes down, create arches in your feet, and work the legs a little straighter. So feel the engagement. Inhale, lifting your belly and chest, shoulder blades on your back, and bow forward. And inhale, lift halfway. Making space, exhale and bow. And inhale, lift. And exhale, bow. Stepping your right foot all the way back and quarter turn to your right. So you're in a wide leg stance with the feet parallel and the knees bent. Butt is back. And fingertips on floor blocks. And start to move your hips side to side. And as you move, feel the outline of each foot and try to create those arches. You're pulling up. Engagement with the moment. Good. To center and lifting your sits bones up in the air, legs a little straighter, bow forward, head and heart towards the floor. And inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift a little. And exhale, bow. Good. Quarter turn back to the front of your mat. Through left lunge, step your right foot to meet the left. Inhaling halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, hands to hips or thighs, shoulders back. Lift your gaze and come all the way up to stand, reaching your arms up. Full breath in. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Arms by your sides, palms forward. Take a look at your feet. Again, parallel, engaged by pulling up but not rigid. Palms are forward and space across the heart. Close your eyes. And just rock a little bit front to back, ball of the foot, heel of the foot, and then a little bit side to side. And then coming to center and being able to find a stillness, but it's not 100% still because we're breathing, we're moving, we're pulsating, that expansion and contraction of energy and prana all around us, within us. Full breath in. And exhale. Inhale and reach your arms out and up. And exhale, fold forward, hands to floor or blocks. Inhale, lift. Exhale and bow. Step your left foot back this time and get a nice long lunge. So the front knee is directly over the heel, your right thigh parallel to the floor. Lowering your left knee down, and inhale, sweep your arms up. Full breath in, and as you exhale, bend your elbows. So pull the front ribs in, lift your chest, lift the back of your head a little, and then stretch your arms up. Full breath in, and exhale. Left hand comes down to the floor, and right arm reaches up, twisting open to your right. Reach the right arm over your ear, nice and long. Fully engaged with the moment, with your breath. Squeezing the right foot, left knee, left hand towards each other. Maybe lift the left knee off the floor. Bringing your right hand down inside the right foot. Left knee can be up or down as you walk your hands and get low with your chest inside that right inner thigh. Now make sure you're not leaning the hips forward. You want to lift your butt a little bit. That right butt swings underneath and right knee widens. Inhaling. And exhaling. Walking your hands back in and on either side of the right foot. Wiggle your left knee back or your right foot forward. Maybe use your blocks and start to move the right leg straighter. So you're dragging the right heel back, the toes back towards your face. Bowing your chest forward. Remember, we're letting go of our ego. Our ego tends to tell us false and limiting things. So as we let go of that, we find more space, more freedom. We're able to find our true self, our true purpose. Bending your right knee, foot on the floor, lift your left knee and lift your left leg in the air. Now hands to floor blocks as you need. Lifting that left leg, lift your belly and chest up. That's your inhale. As you exhale, bringing your left knee behind the right and maybe hands lift to your heart. So inhale, hands down, leg up. Exhale, little squat, working on balance, the core, the concentration. Hands down, leg up. Inhale, one more. Exhale, left knee behind right. Full breath. Hands down, leg up, and left foot next to the right. Inhale, belly and chest lift. And exhale, bow. And stepping your right foot all the way back. Get a nice long lunge. So fingertips to floor blocks. Left knee is over the left ankle and that left thigh parallel to the floor. Lowering your right knee. Pat it if you need. Inhale and sweep the arms up. Full breath in. As you exhale, bending the elbows, pull the front ribs in, the belly in. Back of the head lifts a little. Curl back upper mid back and stretch your arms up. Gaze up. Full breath in. And exhale. And bringing your right hand down to the floor a little wider, but in line with the left foot as you turn open. Left arm reaches for the sky and then maybe over your ear. And notice the connection points. Left foot, right knee, right hand pulling towards each other. Feel free to lift the back knee off the floor. And bringing left hand down inside the left foot, back knee up or down. Lift your butt a little bit to lower your chest and fingertips or forearms as you get lower here. Reconnecting with that rhythm of your breath, with that rhythm of surrender, of the ego, of making space in the heart, of connecting with a higher purpose. Coming back up to straighter arms, hands on either side. Use the blocks. You can scoot your right knee back, left foot forward as you start to move the left leg straighter with engagement. Pulling back with that heel and left hip. Stick your butt back, lower your heart, not just stretching your chin forward. Your eyes can be directly looking down at the floor. Full breath in and exhale. And bending that left knee, knee right over the ankle, lift your right knee and lift your right leg in the air. So lift that right leg, lift your belly and chest. As you exhale, right knee behind the left, hands to your heart maybe. Hands down, leg up, full breath in. Exhale and bow. One more. Inhale and exhale. Squatting, hands to your heart. Hands down, leg up, full breath in. And exhaling. Right foot next to the left. Inhale and exhale. Stepping back to downward facing dog. And shifting forward into plank, so shoulders are right over the wrists. Isometrically pull back with the heel of your hand so you feel that engagement and that awareness. Now connecting to the rhythm of your breath here. Finding the flow. Sometimes the flow is more still, sometimes it's moving quicker, and we have to be able to adjust. Your choice. Knees up or down as you lower, bending your elbows, and hands for cobra. Inhale and exhale. Propping up on forearms again. So elbows under the shoulders, palms down, and getting that first layer, ribs, belly, pull away from the floor, pull back with the elbows. So mindful that you're still breathing, not holding your breath. Eyes are soft, opened, adding on by lifting the hips and thighs away from the floor, pulling the knees and elbows towards each other. And then curl your toes under and lift your knees. Pushing the inner edge of the wrist down, and then start to walk your feet in towards your face. And get your butt up as high as you can. Your shoulders are directly over the elbows. Let your chest press back towards your thighs. Full breath in. And exhale. And walking your feet all the way back out into that forearm plank. And mindfully lower all the way down. Good. And bringing your hands for cobra, press the feet. Inhale and lift. And exhale, lower. Curl your toes through hands and knees. Plank as you'd like. And downward facing dog. Lifting your right leg up. And bringing your right knee to your nose and step that right foot forward between your hands. So fingertips, floor block, help that foot through as you need. Stretch your heart forward and pull back on that right hip. Full breath in and exhale. Stepping back, three-legged dog, right leg lifted. Bend the knee, open the hip, but lift your left shoulder and look over your left shoulder. Good. Lower the right foot down and lift the left leg up. Full breath in. Exhaling, knee towards your nose and step that left foot forward. Nice long lunge. Help it through. Fingertips, floor blocks. Spine as long as you can. Your eyes are down towards the floor. Full breath in. Full breath out. Stepping back, three-legged dog. Left leg lifted. Bend the knee, open the hip. Lift your right shoulder as you look over the shoulder. And lowering that left foot down. Good. Walking your hands back to your feet. And at the back of your mat, again, creating arches. So working the legs straighter with engagement and awareness, and bow forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, bow. Bend your knees. Hands to hips or thighs, shoulders back. And as you come up, stretch your arms up. Holding your left wrist and side bend to your right. Move your hips back a little bit. Full breath. Back to center and holding your right wrist side bend to your left. Eyes soft, heart lifted. And back to center. Take your arms out and behind, interlace. Feet about as wide as your hips. Lift the collarbones up and widen them. Pull the elbows towards each other. Please use a strap if you need. Start to come forward, belly towards your thighs. And keep that connection of belly and thighs and start to lift your butt in the air and fold forward, head towards the floor. Squeezing the elbows in, maybe lifting your hands off the low back. Full breath here. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. Bending your knees, release your hands and come into ski racer. So your thighs are as parallel to the floor as you can get, your arms stretching forward. Full breath in and exhale. You might stay here, elbows to the thighs, or go into a deeper squat according to your knees and hips. Maybe hands to your heart or reaching forward. Full breath. And exhaling. And go ahead and have a seat and grab your block. So remember, part of surrender is accepting what comes at you, just like abs. So here we go. On your back with the block between your upper inner thighs. So knees are right over your hips and shins parallel to the floor. Press your hands and thighs into each other. So quickly I'm getting into that connection of engagement and awareness with the moment as we press hands and thighs into each other. Shoulders are back, back of the head pressing into the floor, and lengthening the tail and the top of the head away from each other. We know that, notice the expansion and contraction of the breath as the muscles stay engaged. Full breath in and exhale. Hands by your hips. So option one is to keep the block and lower and lift your heels, tapping the floor without arching the low back. If that's too much on your low back, please take the block out and do one heel at a time, lowering and lifting your right, and then center and left and center. So your choice, move and breathe. Move and breathe with that joyful engagement of each breath, each movement, each moment. Opening our hearts, finding that flow of surrender with the divine. It's those moments where everything feels like it's just in harmony. Everything is working together as it should. Do one more. And back to center. So have the block between your thighs if you don't, and bring your arms out to a T. And keeping that left shoulder down, take your knees to the right. If you push the right elbow into the floor, it'll keep your left shoulder down a little bit more. Squeeze the block with your right leg. And then back to center and taking your knees over to the left. Push your left elbow down to keep the right shoulder down. Anchor the belly button towards the spine. Squeezing the block with the left leg. And back to center and over to the right with your knees. Maybe take your left leg straighter. Now pull your left heel towards your left hip. Still keeping that left shoulder down. Bend the knee, back to center, over to the left. Maybe making the right leg straighter. Pull back with the right heel towards the right hip. Right shoulder's down, belly's engaged, breath nice and fluid. Back to center. And one more time each side. And maybe straighten one, maybe straighten both legs. Pull the belly. You've got to stay anchored. You've got to stay engaged with the moment. Knees bent, back to center, over to the left. One or both legs straight if you'd like. Belly engaged, shoulders back, breath nice and even. Bend your knees, back to center. Set the block to the side and bring your feet together, knees wide. So option 1, feet are on the floor. Option 2, lift it up. Hands behind your head, elbows stay really wide. So you're just making space across the heart and lifting from that heart space. Your shoulder blades support your heart from behind. Full breath in. Exhale and lift. Inhale back. Eyes soft or closed. Lift as you exhale. Inhale back. And lift. Inhale back. And lift. Inhale back. And lift, inhale back, lift, inhale back, lift, inhale back, lift, inhale back. 2 more, lift, inhale back, and lift, inhale back. Bring your knees back to center, 90 degrees. So listen carefully. Your right hand, place it on top of the left thigh. So right hand and left thigh push into each other. You should feel engagement and awareness there. Now take your right leg up straight and your left arm up straight. So you keep pushing right hand and left leg, staying engaged, and then full breath in. As you exhale, your left arm and your right leg extend out. And inhale back to center. Exhale and lengthen. Inhale, center. And exhale, lengthen out. Keep pressing that right hand and left thigh. Lengthen back as you exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale back. Keep the belly pulling towards the floor. Eyes soft or closed. We're trying to find that harmony where all the muscles, the breath, our movements are working together. Two more on this side. Stay focused. Stay engaged. And back to center. Good. We'll switch hands. So now your left hand and your right thigh press into each other. Your left leg and your right arm are up straight. So pull back on that right shoulder blade. Pull the left heel towards the left hip. Full breath in. As you exhale, extend back. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, center. You can be saying your inner mantra to yourself. Sat as you inhale, Nam as you exhale. Staying focused, not allowing that ego to get the best of us. We have control over our own inner mantra. It's learning to understand what we have control over and what we don't, and letting go of those things that we don't need to try to control. Stay engaged with what you can. One more on this side. Good. And bend both knees and press hands and thighs into each other. And lower your feet to the floor and grab your block and place your block between your upper inner thighs again. So feet are inner hip distance, palms down by your sides, arms are straight. Head presses back into the floor, feet press into the floor. As you inhale, find the flow, lifting your chin, your chest, your hips into bridge, arms reach up and overhead. Slow exhale as you lower all the way back down. Inhale, move at your own pace. And exhale, lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Pressing your toes down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And one more time, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Set the block to the side, and your choice. You can roll to your side and make your way into downward facing dog. Some of you might want to rock and roll several times the length of your spine, and some of you might want to rock and roll all the way up to a forward fold. Try not to use your hands, and then step back to downward facing dog. Full breath in and out. Shifting forward into plank. Knees up or down, your choice, lower all the way. Inhaling cobra. And back to downward facing dog. Mindfully lifting your right leg up and bringing your knee forward to your nose and stepping that foot forward between your hands. So back knee a little softer, squeeze your feet in and come up crescent lunge. Stretching your arms up without hugging your shoulders to your ears. So make some space, squeeze your feet towards each other, work that left leg a little straighter. If you can, lift the back of your skull and curl back, upper back, bend your elbows out to the sides. Squeezing the shoulder blades, anchoring the front ribs, stretch your arms back up straight. Full breath in and exhale. Full breath in. And exhale, open warrior two. So back heel pivots to the floor. Feet go a little wider apart if you can. Hugging the feet in, turn your hips a little bit more forward towards that left top corner of your mat. Your heart opens towards the left side of your mat. So as you squeeze the feet, keep lowering your hips. Inhale, reach your arms up and look up. As you exhale, arms back out and look over your right fingertips. Inhale, reach up and look up. Exhale, reach out and look out. One more inhale and exhale. Good. Take your left hand down, right arm up, reverse, and move your right leg straighter. So without locking the knee, again, we want to let go of the rigidity and tenseness. We want to keep an engagement of the muscles. So pulling up from the soles of the feet, start to hinge forward. Right leg is as straight as you can get without locking. Right hand floor or block as you turn open. Left shoulder stacks over right, left arm reaches to the sky. Full breath in and exhale. Full breath in and exhale. Good. Back through warrior two. Bend the front knee 90 degrees. Squeeze the feet and lift your belly. Lift through the top of the head. And then crescent lunge, so back heel spins up. You can shorten the stance a little as you need. Full breath here. And warrior three, so lifting that left leg parallel to the floor. Heart stretches forward parallel to the floor. Arms can come out wide, reach back or reach forward. Full breath in and exhale. Left hand on your heart. And right hand down to floor or block. Start to turn open Ardha Chandrasana towards your left. So as you reach your left arm up, make sure your right knee is not locked, but you're pulling the energy up the foot, up the leg, the butt, the belly, and reaching through the left heel and left fingertips. Left hand down and stepping your left leg all the way back so you're in right lunge. And then right leg up and back, bend the knee, open the hip. Good. Lift your left shoulder a little. Full breath in. And exhale. And lowering the right foot next to the left. Stay in dog, rest in child's pose, or come forward into plank. Your choice. Knees up or down if you're lowering. Inhale, cobra. And back to downward facing dog. If you're in child's pose, join us in dog. Lifting your left leg up. Bringing your left knee to your nose and stepping that foot forward between your hands. Soften the back knee a little, squeeze the feet in, and come up crescent lunge. So as you get your hips lower, you can start to work the back leg a little straighter. Keep that front knee bent 90 degrees. Stretch up without hugging your ears with the shoulders. Bend the elbows out to the side. So engaging upper back, front ribs. Re-lengthen up through the fingertips. Lift your gaze and your heart. Full breath in. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Open warrior two. So back heel now comes to the floor. Go wider if you can to get the hips lower. Turn your hips in a little towards the front of your mat. And open your heart to the right. Stretching out. Hugging the feet in. Look over your left fingertips. Full breath in. Reach up and look up. And exhale. Reach out and look out. Inhale. Reach up. And exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Good. Right hand down, left arm up, reverse. And mindfully engage with the muscles as you start to move the left leg straighter. Turn your hips in a little, unlock the knees, and start to hinge forward. Left hand finds the floor, the shin, or the block. Right hand to your heart, or reach that right arm straight up. Hugging the feet in. Stretch up through the fingertips of that right hand. Lengthen the top of your head towards the front of your mat. Your tail is stretching to the back. Staying engaged, joyfully. Back through warrior two, bending that front knee 90 degrees, full breath in, and exhale. And crescent lunge. Back heel spins up, heart and hips square to the front of your mat. Full breath in. And exhale. Warrior three. So lifting that right leg parallel to the floor. Arms can reach forward or back or wide. Space across the collarbones and heart. And bringing your right hand to your heart and your left hand down to the floor block. Start to turn open now to your right, lifting that right arm up. So get grounded in the left fingertips and the left foot. Pull that energy up. Not tense, not rigid. We're really lengthening and feeling the breath. Feel the expansion and contraction. And bringing your right hand down to the floor and right leg steps all the way back in a left lunge. Full breath in. And exhale, stepping that left leg up and back, bend the knee, open the hip, lift your right shoulder and look over that shoulder, stretching long, lifting from the left knee. Full breath in. And exhale, lower the left foot. And this time, lower your knees and grab your blanket and roll it up nice and tight. So of course, option for calf smash. Behind your knees. If your knees bug you, you can stand on the rolled up blanket. So you're going to stand with the balls of your feet, hip distance. Heels are on the floor, not on the blanket, and they're parallel. So you'll start by bending your knees and bringing your hands to the floor and lifting your butt up in the air to work your legs straight. Hands to floor blocks. So you're feeling the length in the backs of the legs. If you're calf smashing, that blanket is up behind your knees as best you can, and you're bringing your weight back. So as your weight comes back, trying not to tense, trying not to feel rigidity. You want to let go of that tightness. We're trying to create space in the backs of the legs. We're trying to create space with our breath, with our thoughts. Maybe close your eyes. Get back into the flow of surrender with your breath. Connecting with that higher purpose. And it might change with each moment. So being sensitive, being in tune to connect. And the more we practice this, the easier it gets. And it's not an easy thing to do, to surrender, to let go of our egos, to let go of things we don't have control over. Another full breath in and out. Go ahead and make your way into downward facing dog. So as you lift your hips up and back, stretch your heels down. Make sure you're lifting your arms up away from the floor a little so you're making space there. Full breath in. And exhale. And full breath in. And exhale. Good. Walking your feet forward to the front of your mat. And inhaling. And exhaling. And bending your knees, hands to hips or thighs, shoulders back as you come all the way up, reaching your arms up. And hands to heart center. So you'll stay at the front of your mat and stand on your left leg and lift your right knee out to the side for tree. So you might hold your knee with your hand out to the side, and you might bring your foot inside the left leg, anywhere but on the knee. So balance pose requires us to let go of the rigidity. We have to be able to flow with the moment and adapt with our breath and with the engagement of our muscles. So as you'd like, you can take your arms out and up, maybe reach, maybe move your arms around. If you'd like, take your hands behind your low back and interlace, lift your chest. Keep your eyes focused and steady. Keep the bind with your hands if you can, and bring your right knee forward. And then warrior 3 with that right leg lifted parallel to the floor. Keep the bind again if you can. And then coming back up to stand, lifting your knee, lifting your arms, and stepping back, warrior 1. So right heel is on the floor, back toes are more forward than they are too. And try to adjust your stance a little longer if you can, getting the front thigh more parallel, heart and ribs square to the front of your mat. Inhaling, reaching your arms up, lifting your gaze up. Full breath in. And as you exhale again, bring your hands behind your low back and interlace opposite thumb on top, lifting your heart up. Keep lowering your hips. Stay lifted with your heart or bow forward inside that front inner thigh. So again, we can't be rigid. We can't have our back knee locked. We have to find the fluidity. Coming back up, keep the bind with your hands if you can. Lift your heart and start to move your left leg straighter. So it's a little more challenging to keep the bind here. If you need to let go and bring your hands to the floor, you can start to bow forward over that left thigh. So both legs are straighter but not locked. If we stay rigid, if we stay tight, it narrows our perspective and our ability to flow with the current. Bringing your hands to the floor, either side or forward of that left foot, and then lift the right leg in the air. And turning open again, Ardha Chandrasana to your right. So notice the difference, maybe a little bit more grounded, a little bit more fluid with the movement this time. As you reach through the right fingertips, see if maybe this time you can bring your left hand to your heart. Both hands down to the earth, right foot next to the left. Inhale and exhale. Bend your knees, hands to your hips, and come all the way up, reaching up, and hands to your heart. So now you're standing on your right leg and taking your left knee out to the side for your version of tree. It might be holding the knee. It might be bringing the foot to the inner thigh, to the calf, or toes to the floor. So feel free to move your arms around. We want to feel the flow. We want to feel harmony. We want to feel strong in our stance. If you'd like, take your hands behind, interlace, lift your chest up so you're long through the waist, belly in, bringing the left knee forward, and then warrior 3 with the bind of your arms. Squeeze that right hip Heart stretches forward, stretch back through the left heel. Coming back up, let go of your hands, lifting your left knee, arms overhead, and stepping back, warrior one. So adjust the stance wider apart, front and back of your mat and side to find stability. Hug the feet in, turn your ribs forward, ribs in, belly in, stretch your arms up. Full breath in. Exhale. And then taking your arms out and behind, interlace again, lifting your heart, squeeze the upper arms back, stay lifted or bow forward inside that right inner thigh. Your right knee is at 90 degrees, your right butt swinging under, top of the head, reaching for your toes of the right foot, not your chin. Stay strong in that back leg, but not locked. Pressing into your feet and release, or keep the bind and start to straighten your right leg. Again, not locking the right knee. You're welcome to let go of the hands and bring them to the floor as you bow forward, or bow forward with the bind. You're pulling, engaged with that right foot. Stretch the top of your head, not your chin, towards your right toes. Releasing your hands if they're bound, walking them on either side of the right foot or forward. Bend your right knee, lift the left leg in the air. And turning open Ardha Chandrasana to your left again. So unlocking the knee, reaching the left arm up. Stretching strongly with that expansion. Maybe right hand to your heart, looking up or down. And both hands to the floor and left foot next to the right. Inhale and exhale. Good. Stepping back, downward facing dog. And shifting forward into plank. Pull back with the heels of your hands, knees up or down. Lower mindfully all the way down. And again, stretch your arms back towards your feet. So palms are down, come up onto fingertips and bend the elbows a little. Lift broad across the collarbones. Please look at the floor, back of the neck nice and long. As you lift the shoulders and the chest, press the feet. And then lift the feet, lift the legs, lift your arms. And breathe here. So notice anywhere you feel rigid, where you're trying to control. Soften between your eyes, your jaw. Each breath, we're trying to open ourselves up to possibility. We want to be stronger, but we want to be lighter and more spacious, more expansive. Lower and rest your head to one side, cheek towards the floor. Relax your shoulders. Coming back to center. So same option here of lifting into locust pose. If you would like to add on, you can interlace your hands at your low back, or maybe bend your knees and reach for your feet or your ankles. So variations welcome here. Just please be mindful and stay engaged with your muscles and with your breath, with the moment. Stay looking at the floor. And as you lift your chest, your legs, stretching longer through the length of your spine, stretching space between each vertebrae. Keep your breath fluid. Moving with the flow. Experiencing that expansion and contraction of the breath and of the energy. And lowering down and rest your head to the other side. Wiggle your hips a little. And placing your hands for cobra. And broad across the chest, inhale and lift. And lower, and lift, and lower. Back to child's pose, knees wide, toes together, head and heart towards the floor. And this practice gives us perspective. It creates space, not just in our physical bodies, but in our hearts and our minds, in a way that we can see our path a little clearer. We can see our truth. We can see the beauty within, and we can start to share that beauty by breathing with kindness towards ourselves. By learning to look at what we're allowing to control us, what we're trying to control. May we learn to let our egos go. Let our hearts be more open, more carefree, as we trust whatever our higher purpose is. We might not know it in this moment. We might feel like we never know it. But trusting that it's there and acting accordingly, acting with awareness and with love. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Really engaged, joyfully engaged with the breath, with the muscles, with the space you've created, the expansion of your energy, of your purpose. And lowering your knees to the floor. And go ahead and lay on your back and hug your knees wide towards your shoulders. And rock a little side to side and just feel the earth beneath you, the connection of your back body. Back to center and cross your right ankle over your left thigh for face-up pigeon. And you can either hold interlaced hands behind the left thigh, or maybe some of you want to take the left leg up straight, and you'll take your arms over in front of the right shin and hold as high up as you can on the left leg. So as you do that, you're pressing your left thigh away from your face. Try to keep your shoulders back and both feet, ankles flexed. Find the rhythm of the breath, the rhythm of surrender. It's not passive at all. Very active, very mindful of our choices. Switching sides carefully. Taking left ankle over right thigh. Again, right knee can be bent and hold behind the thigh interlaced. Or take your right leg up straight. Arms go in front of the left shin as you reach for the right leg. Toes and ankles flexed, pushing your butt away from your head. Pushing the right thigh away from your head. Releasing your hands, uncross your legs and bring your feet on the floor and grab whatever you have for a block. So it could be your blanket or a pillow, and lifting your hips up and slide that block underneath your sacrum. So it's under your butt, not your low back. And roll your shoulders back, palms can face up. And you're welcome to keep your feet on the floor or take your legs straight out, or take your legs straight up in the air. If you prefer to do legs up the wall here, you're welcome to do that with or without something under your sacrum. So with the legs straight up, just allowing the surrender of the work, letting your breath just find its natural rhythm. learning to surrender and let go of the things that we don't need, that don't serve us, takes work, it takes practice, it takes patience, it takes courage, it takes humility. It takes a lot of inner awareness to let go of our ego, to let go of the false self. Each breath an opportunity to open and expand more, to connect more with that deeper purpose, with that deeper meaning for our lives. And each time we set foot on the mat, that possibility expands. Our body gets stronger. That inner mantra of strength and courage and love gets stronger and louder in our heads. You're welcome to keep legs up and hips on the block or up the wall with your legs. If you're ready, bend your knees and bringing your feet back to the floor. Mindfully lift your hips up and slide that block out. As you lower your hips, bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips, about as wide as your mat. Arms out to a T. Take your knees over to the left and look over your right shoulder. Still mindful with the belly engaged. You can move the back of your head towards that left shoulder. And the knees back to center and over to the right. As you look over your left shoulder, move the back of your head towards your right shoulder. Belly in. And as you come back to center with your knees, one more time, hug in towards the shoulders. Bring your knees right over the hips, hands to your thighs, and press hands and thighs so you get that engagement, that connection again. And lowering your feet to the floor and letting your legs slide out one at a time, straight out. Let the toes fall open to the sides. Arms out about 45 degrees from your body. Roll each shoulder back. Palms face up. And really the ultimate of surrenders, Shavasana, corpse pose. Allowing ourselves to let go of that practice, to release our body and our breath to its own natural rhythm with the divine. breath and wiggling your toes and fingers. And rock your head a little side to side or stretch your arms up overhead and lengthen. Bend your knees one at a time, feet on the floor, and roll to either side. And pause on your side for just a moment, feeling the breath. And using your arms and pressing yourself up to a nice seat. And as you sit up nice and tall, turning your thighs in and back, sit on blanket or block as you need. And one hand on your heart and the other fingertips to the earth. Sitting up tall and just noticing the rhythm of your breath. May we continue the work of this niyama, Ishvara Pranidhana, surrender. Letting go and surrendering our egos. Having an open and full heart. Open to something bigger. Maybe it's a mystery. Maybe you know it. But may you breathe with it in harmony. Bring your hands together at heart center. And take a full breath in. Exhale and bow your head to your heart, to your own inner light and truth. And may the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within guide your way on. Sat Nam. From my heart to each of yours, always with love and gratitude. Namaste.
Hey, it's me again. If you enjoyed this practice, please like, share, and subscribe. And consider supporting me by making a donation via Venmo or PayPal. Or even going one step further and joining my ever-growing Patreon community, where you can have access to exclusive content like workshops, live stream classes, and more full-length practices before I release them to the public. Remember, it's support like yours that allows me to continue providing content to the yoga community. Also, I'd love to hear from you, so drop me a line in the comments section and look below for all details and links. Thanks so much.